Hello everybody and welcome back to Herbies Garage. Yep, I got me another project. I mentioned this in some prior videos that I've got this one from a guy that I worked with. So I got a pretty good deal on it, but I'm gonna walk around and show you the ATV and maybe mention a few problems with it and everything. On today's video, I'm planning on trying to get it running. It's been sitting for a long time, long time, and hasn't been touched. So there's a lot of things that need to be done with it. I did go ahead and order some parts just in case, and I'll show you those too, but I'm going to show you the machine first. Here it is. It's a 2001 Yamaha Bear Tracker 250cc two-wheel drive ATV. And it's a little bit faded out. It's been sitting out in the sun a lot, so the plastics are all faded, and I will probably address that in some parts of the video. Well, not this video, but another one probably. This front crash bar or bumper, whatever you want to call it, it got bent here, it's bent down there. You can look here and you can see that it's really tweaked up here, so the whole thing is bent. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. The tires were flat, at least the front ones were. I aired them up to get it in here, and they're flat again already, so it needs new tires. The front brakes are locked up. I couldn't even hardly get it in here. It wouldn't roll. So, yeah, I'll show you. This one, the rear brake works, but the front brake, I mean, you can't even move it. It's just locked up. So that's going to need some work. Turn the key on, nothing happens, no lights come on. Hit the starter, nothing happens. The throttle feels like the throttle cable is free, it's moving. I came down here and tried to hit this, and it either doesn't have compression or this isn't engaging, and I think it's just not engaging. I'm hoping, at least. The reverse lever, it's completely locked up. You can't pull the button up, you can't move the lever. This whole thing's locked up, so I'm gonna have to end up taking this off and lubricating everything, cleaning it all up, and get it to work again. And let's see. The racks on them are pretty good shape, front and rear. They're pretty decent. For 2001, it's not too awful bad. At least it's a complete machine. I think everything is on it. You can tell even the silencer on it, the muffler is in pretty good shape. It's good and solid and complete, so that's nice. Everything down here is a little bit dirty, but it looks nice. And while we're doing a walk around, we'll go ahead and we'll check the oil in it. I've already checked it, but I wanted to show you. Whenever I went to pick it up, I looked at it, and I'm pretty impressed with the oil. At least the oil is clean. It's full. It's actually over full a little bit, but it's still clean, which is kind of surprising for sitting as long as it has. I am going to change it, but I'm going to get it running first, and then I'll worry about changing the oil. All right, let's go ahead and get started on this thing, trying to get it to go. I know that the carburetor is going to need addressed, and we'll look in here at the gas tank, see if that's got anything in it, what that looks like. I'm going to get a flashlight. Oh, yeah, as you can see down in there, it's bone dry. There's nothing in it, which is good, I guess. You can see the petcock and the filters on the petcock. That doesn't look bad at all, actually. So the tank looks good. I'm happy with that. And here's all the parts that I have for it so far. Just doing a walk around whenever I got the machine. I lifted up the seat and I looked at it, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. I know I'm going to need a battery and some battery cables and air filter, oil filter, gas filter, spark plug, intake boot, you know, just the normal stuff. Let's start by taking the seat off, and I'll let you see this. Like I say, I did remove the seat. And this is what I got. There was a mouse living in there. And as you can see, this is why we don't have any battery voltage. The wire's completely rotted in two. The battery's got a hole in it, and all kinds of damage in here from probably the mouse and everything else. This wire here is bad. This wire, well, I don't know if that wire is bad. Hopefully it's not. But this wire here is bad. This wire's bad. So there'll be a couple wires I'll have to replace and repair. And while we're here, we'll look at the air filter. Oh boy, look at the big old mouse nest in there, and there's no air filter. So hopefully it didn't do any damage. Hopefully it didn't get run too much without an air filter in it, because we all know that that'll score up the cylinders, getting dirt straight into the cylinder like that. So first thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to vacuum out all the mouse stuff. And start cleaning all that other stuff up. That is rusty. I'm going to have to take a wire wheel to that. Alright, I got it vacuumed out pretty good. I pulled this out of here and tried to clean it a little bit. These terminals were pretty bad, so they're a little bit rusted. So I just took my sandpaper in here and I just kind of rubbed these terminals a little bit. Trying to get most of the big stuff off of it anyway. I was going over these wires, kind of looking at them, and there's some chew marks here, there. This red wire has got the casing pretty much off of it right here, but I don't see any green in the wire, and I don't see any missing strands or anything. So I'm going to tape this up and then tape this up. Try to minimize the amount of work I need to do on this, because I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think that'll work for that. I didn't really see any bad wires on this one. This one looks pretty good. Now this one, of course, has got a bad wire here, and this wire here is bad. I'm going to try to fix that, and I want to check these fuses. Set it on continuity. Try to set it where you can see it, and we'll check the fuse. That fuse is good. We'll check this fuse. That fuse does not look good. So we'll go ahead and replace them both. Well, the fuse doesn't look blown. It might have just had a bad connection here on top. You can tell it's kind of corroded. So the fuse is probably still good, which is good. But we're going to replace it with a new one anyway. Same 20 amp. And the terminals look good inside there, so I think we'll be good. That one wasn't even pushed in all the way. And we'll get another new one. Huh. That's a spare. That's just a spare there. That's why it wasn't pushed in all the way. So we just have one 20 amp fuse then. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take these off. Now I've got a new connector end for I'm going to use. I got a new piece of wire that I'm going to use for this. It's a little bit long, but I can always double it up, bend it around, or whatever. But I'll make do with this one. And I'll go ahead and slide this end protector on there. This is going to be a little bit bigger than the other one looks like, but I think it's still going to work. I might need a washer on that. Go ahead and put a washer on this, kind of secure it a little bit better. Alright. That's going to stretch over that or not, we'll find out. That's a little tight, but it goes on. I'm going to get this out of the way. Like that. And this wire is going to come around over here. It's going to be a little bit long, but I think we can make it work just fine. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and spray this with some WD just to keep it from corroding. Okay, wipe it off a little bit. Now before we drop it down in the hole, this cable's a little bit short, so we're going to go ahead and attach it before we drop it in. Okay, so now we'll hook the cable up, put our nut in there. Okay. Put a wire in there. Our cable. I know what you're thinking. Supposed to put the positive on first, and you're right, I am. But I'm not too worried about this older machine. I don't think we're going to hurt anything at all. You really have to be concerned with it when you have fuel injection and stuff, but I think we'll be okay. Okay. There we go. Alright, now I've got the battery in. I'm going to put the clamp on. I just lightly wire wheeled it, get some of the rust off of it. I'm going to go back through, take this back off, and sand it down real good and paint it. But for now, I'm just going to get it back together. And these bolts that were in it, boy, they're really bad. They're starting to get thinner, especially this one. So I'm afraid they're going to snap off in there. So I'm using some of these. If you watch any of my other videos where I got a brand new bike in a crate, well, this is why you save the crate bolts, stuff like this, because you just never know when it might come in handy, and that's what these are. They're crate bolts. Screw that down. The big head are really good for that. It holds it on there tight. That's a little movement in there. I'll fix that. Push that down. I probably bent it whenever I was cleaning it. Bend it down, give a little more pressure on it. That's a little better. But I will bend that and get that better whenever I take that back out. Okay, so I've got all that electrical stuff back there done with the battery and everything. Let's see if I get a neutral light. I do. Awesome. I get a neutral light. So let's see if it'll start. Shoot, I'm not getting anything. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like it's on off. Whoa, there we go. That switch is a little bit probably rusted. All right, now I know it cranks. Now let's see if we got spark. Let's pull this plug out. Let's see what the plug looks like too. Looks like it's a little bit fouled out. Yeah, it might have a oil problem. I don't know. It might just be gas, fuel related. All right, let's try and see what kind of spark we got. See if you can see that. All right, turn the key on, we'll try it. Let's try it up there. I can't really see. Well, let me hold the brake lever and try it. Yeah, I don't see any spark. Do you guys? I don't know if that unscrews or not. It doesn't feel like it does. Maybe that unscrews from in here. That looks a little corroded. Let's clean that and put that back in. Okay, I cleaned it up a little bit. Clean this up pretty good too. See what happens. All right, I'm gonna turn the key on. Let me hit the button. No. All right, we're not getting any spark. So I'm gonna come up here to the coil and I'm gonna check this coil to see if we have any voltage up here. It should light this light if we have good voltage. I'm gonna turn the key on and I'm not getting anything. Maybe it has to be cranked. Let me try. Nope, not getting anything up to the coil. So I need to move on down the line. It's either going to be in the CDI or in the stator pickup coil. Okay, now I'm going to check the wires coming out of the stator, and I have to unplug it here. Alright, these are my wires I need to check. So let's get my multimeter ready here. And I have to go from the white and green to the white and red. I'll put it on ohms and we'll see what we get. We're supposed to have 200 ohms. Oh boy. 90.7 thousand, 90,000 ohms, and we're supposed to have 200. That's not good. Alright, let's check the other one. And this one is supposed to have 300 ohms. And as you can tell, it's got 3.3 ohms, so that's not good either. Alright, let me go ahead and turn the key on, and I'll crank it over, switch this to voltage, and we're supposed to get, let's see, on this one, we're supposed to get 80 something volts. Yeah, we got about a half a volt. And on this one, we're supposed to get about a half a volt. And looks like it's almost up to half a volt. So I'm thinking we got a bad stator pickup coil. I'm going to have to tear it apart and check it out, see what's going on with it, maybe order another one. Go ahead and take off this shifter mechanism. I have to take it off anyway, but take it off and get it out of our way. Wow, now you can see why that's not working. Yeah, that's got to be taken apart and cleaned real good. I guess we'll take this cover off for the pull start. Wasn't many bolts holding it, looks like 2. Well, it looks like that's functioning. I don't think it was catching it though. I'll get my good old Tecton impact driver. We'll give this a whirl. See which one of these fit better. I think the bigger one fits better. Hopefully they're all the same length or close to it. Those two are. That's a longer one. Yeah, that's the longest one yet. Yeah, I think that's all of them. All right, let's see if my impact, small impact, can take this off. Oh yeah. All right, let's see how it comes off and how much oil leaks. Well, there's the stator. Stator pickup coil. I got that out. Now I'll see how tight these screws are. Alright, now I should be able to pull the whole thing out. Alright. There is the problem. Unfortunately. So I'm going to order a new one of these. And then we'll proceed on. Well, it's been about 3 to 4 weeks since I left off on this video. I know it just seems like I'm picking right back up on it, but I want to show you where I'm at on this before I go to install anything. As you can see, I've got my original stator. I ordered 2 different new ones, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then I found one on eBay, a good used one. And I'm going to talk about all that in a minute. But first, let's check these. And I'll show you that on the original stator, and the reason why it had no spark is if I check this, it's supposed to be around 200-300 ohms, something like that. Well, I'm at 126,000 ohms. So the pickup coil is shot. And if I check the source coil, it's showing good right now, but when I was checking it, it was all over the place. So this stator is bad. Well, the next one that I ordered was this one. And one thing I want to tell you about this is don't get this one, and I'm going to show you why. If you look at the pickup coil and look at the color of the wires, you have a blue and a green. Well, on our pickup coil, it's these 2 wires here that plug in. Well, they've got the wire locations in the wrong spot. So that's easy to change. I mean, I could do that if I wanted to, but I want to show you this. It's supposed to be like between 200 and 300 ohms, and it has 567 ohms. So it's too high, and this is a brand new one, so this is not good. And the source coil is about 7 ohms. But this one here was actually a little bit cheaper than this one, and it comes with the starter relay and with a cover gasket, and it was actually a little bit cheaper. So if you wanted to get one, this would be the one to get, and I'll leave a link in the description for this one. As you can see, it has 230 ohms, so the pickup coil is good. The source coil has 8.5, so that's good. So we know that this stator is good, and I can use this one. This one's bad, and I would not recommend this one. This is the brand of it. And this is the one I got off of eBay. And I'm going to show you what this one, the reading on this one is. This one's very close to this brand new one here. This one was like 230. This is 220. So the ohms is really close. And on the source coil, it's about 7.4. So it's all pretty close to this one. I'm going to go ahead and install this one because it's the original OEM part, and it was the same price as this one. I was very fortunate to find this. I got the cover and everything with it for about the same price as what I paid for this. Now, I would absolutely install this one. The only thing that you would have to do is you'd have to take this bracket off, because this bracket hits and stops it from seating all the way. But it's okay, because if you look at the original, it has this bundle of wires laying there at the same place, but it doesn't have the bracket. So all you have to do is take that bracket off, and this stator would be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out, and instead of just taking all these components out, I'm just going to take these 3 screws out. I've already broke them loose, and I'm just going to take the whole thing out as an assembly. Make it a lot easier. And that way I can just replace the whole thing. And there I go. So all I have to do is replace this whole piece and I'll be good to go. And the main reason I wanted to replace just this and not the whole piece that I got is because that seal is bad on this cover, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I'm going to put all this inside of my cover. I already broke these 3 screws loose on mine as well. I had to use this because these are really tight. They probably have a little bit of Loctite on them, thread locker, I would imagine. Doesn't look like it, but they're really tight in there. And you got to be careful not to strip them. Alright, I can pull this out. I can inspect my bearing. My bearing looks good. Feels nice and smooth. I'm going to go ahead and install this. And I need to put a little bit of sealant on here so it doesn't leak on me. Alright, now that I've got a little bit of sealant on that little rubber plug, I'm going to set that down in there. Spread that out just a little bit. And I'm going to take a little bit of blue thread locker. I'm going to put it on these bolts. So I don't want these coming loose. Okay, that'll do it. I'm just going to use just a little bit of this ultra black sealant on the cover. I'm not going to use any sealer on the other surface. Alright, let's go ahead and put the gasket on here. And I'll put one bolt in the front. Kind of line that gasket up a little bit. All right. Okay, that's all them bolts tight. All right, let's go ahead and take this bolt out here and we'll hook our reverse gear shaft back on. Okay, that's tight. And that's working. Then we'll go ahead and install this. It's just splined on there. Just put just a little bit of thread locker on it. Blue, of course. I want to be able to take it back off without having to heat it. That ought to work. Alright, now I got to hook these wires in. Alright, I've got the spark plug inserted. I'm going to turn the key on and we're going to see if we got any spark. Oh yeah, good spark. So now that we know our stator is good and a pickup coil, all that stuff, and we got good spark, we're going to check the compression on it. And we're going to see what kind of compression we got. Okay, I'm going to turn the key on, open the throttle all the way up, and we'll crank her over. See what we got. Huh, we got about 170. That's really good. Alright, that'll do it. Alright, my gas tank's empty, but I'm just going to go ahead and set this on here temporarily. That way I can find out if it's going to fire up or not. If I need to take it back off, I will. Put some nice fresh gas in it. Okay, that's about a gallon. Alright, I got a horrible leak on this tank. I'm just going to try to start it real quick. Well, it's running and it sounds good, but my gosh, it's got a bad leak. You can see it running out down the front up there and up here. Well, coming out around that seal on the petcock most likely. So I'm going to have to address that. But it sounds like it's running good. Well, I did get it running. Did solve the no spark situation, a bad stator, pickup coil. And I already did take the carburetor apart and cleaned it all up. It was really gunked up. That'll be on a future video. I'm not going to put that on this video. And now I have to address the tank leaking and figure out, I think it's probably just seals on the petcock. That ain't too big of a deal. But it looked like it was smoking a little. I may have to rebuild the top end. Don't know yet. We'll see how all that goes. Still got a long way to go, but at least it's running. All right, appreciate you coming along and watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, leave me a comment. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.